silent. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first item is approval of the agenda. The agenda before you. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the agenda as presented.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried, the agenda is approved. Next is our conflict of interest statement.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. In accordance with the rules of procedures adopted by this board in Section 153A44, the North Carolina General Statutes, it is the duty of every board member present to vote all matters coming before the board unless there is a conflict of interest, as determined by the board or by law. Does any board member have a conflict of interest with respect to any agenda item coming before the board today? If so, please identify the conflict and the board will consider the matter. No conflict, Mr. Chairman.
No conflict, Broadnax Taylor.
No conflict.
No conflict.
No conflict. Okay, now we have citizen comments.
Yes, for any citizens who've signed up when you're recognized, please approach the podium. Your comments will be limited to 5 minutes. The chair will cut off all speakers exceeding their allotted time. If you have any questions of the board, you will receive a response from the board or county staff. The board will not respond or otherwise engage in a dialogue with you during your allotted time. And pursuant to North Carolina law, this time is allotted on the agenda for citizen commentary on county business. This time is not an open forum to be publicly critical of the performance of any county commissioner or county employee, and the chair will maintain the order and decorum of the meeting. We have one, Mr. Tashima, Alan Tashima signed up, and that's the only
Still waiting on the briefing from the Director of Finance per my question last time here, and to also reiterate the board's concern about openness and transparency on big discussions on where the money was coming from. Okay, I have two things that I want to talk about tonight. One is the landfill contract renewal. It seems that the county seems to kind of hold these things to the last minute or even past the due date. It's supposed to be discussed tonight, a new contract renewal for a period of performance from July 2025 to July 2028. It is now September, and we're going to be taking a look at a renewal. The new contract renewal is for $57,000 annually. $19,000 for assigned tasks, and $38,000 for contingency, of which $35,000 is for cost of material if needed, and $3,000 is used for contingency and reserves. The other interesting thing is that there is attachment of the original service agreement, which was signed in 2015. This is 2025. So it seems like we keep using the same basic contract, but adding renewals on it and just adding to it. And if you read the basic contract and also the renewals, it almost states the same thing. So you can OBE the 2015 and just go with a new contract. But I can understand why they don't want to do that, because then they're going to have to recompete this. This is sole source renewal. Okay, the other thing too is that when the original contract was signed in 2015, it was for $10,500 annually. Okay. There is also a redacted letter from the governor to Davidson County, which I found that was not redacted in the original letter, justifying why they need $35,000 for the DEQ assessment. Okay, the next one, which I'm not sure if it's going to be on it, but it's under economic development. It's a consulting agreement for retail recruitment. It seems that the county wants to award a sole source solicitation to a company based in Alabama called Retail Strategies, LLC, using their Retail Academy solution for $25,000 to develop, for business development and training. There was no competition for the award, and could a company in North Carolina be more qualified since they are already here in North Carolina? There seems to be a lot of research done in Exhibit A, which could already be a database that a local company would like to know. So they're chewing up $25,000 to go and take a look at what they're looking for. Then they also, which is very, very odd to me as somebody who works in contracts for the federal government, they cite one past performance, a 2019 past performance using the Retail Academy solution in Dyersburg, Tennessee, but it's now 2025. Okay, that's 6 years old. Then they also list 4 recommendations from people to call, but it doesn't tell you the results of their work. It just says you can call them for their past performance. So in closing, I'd like to highlight a few things that doesn't seem to be in the time management on when contracts renewals to be presented in a timely manner, as these efforts are for the new fiscal year 25-26 budget, which was just approved and signed out by the commissioners. Where is the funding coming from per these efforts? And that was a question last time we were here. Where is all these monies coming from? And some statements have been, oh, it's in the budget. Well, how could it be in the budget when this thing has never been approved? Excuse me. Why is it the signed budget wasn't presented earlier if it was in the budget? I've heard the questions that people have asked. What line item in the budget is going to be used to fund these efforts if it is in the budget? As the fiduciary responsibility rests in the commissioners, if someone other than the chairperson is going to sign, where is the delegation authorization letter approved and signed by the board designating signature authority to the individuals? A lot of contracts that I see going out are signed by other people other than the chairman of the board. They're the only ones with fiduciary requirements. So to me, I can use layman's term. This contract's not worth the money, the paper it's written on, because it's not a legal document. So they have to have some delegation of authority. Thank you very much. And I look forward to the answers to all these questions.
Next item on the agenda is the opioid settlement notice.
Good evening, Commissioners. You have before you a document from the state. It's the National Opioid Settlement Agreement. This is basically a notice to the county that there is another settlement that's been established. It's between Purdue and the Sackler family. And we've been notified that in order for us to partake in this settlement, that we basically have to click the button that says we agree, and they will include Northampton County in the calculation for distribution at a later time. So we've already done a resolution a couple of years back and stating that we will engage in these settlements. But what we're looking for on tonight is this just the approval from the board that says that you all agree to allow me to submit the documents stating that we want to be considered for the distributions that will come from this settlement. We don't know what that amount is yet. When that amount is figured out, they will tally that up and submit it back to the county in another document.
Has anybody got any questions for County Manager?
Just a question, Mr. Phillips, how much have we received in opioid settlements thus far before we vote on this?
I figured somebody would ask that question. We received over $500,000 from inception to date.
Yes, sir.
Right now, we have $409,000 in our account.
So to date, we have $409,000 as part of the opioid settlement.
That is correct.
And we appreciate the work that Ms. Vick is doing and you're doing toward making these funds, but at a later date, we'll receive how much we will receive. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, sir. No further questions, Mr. Chairman, from me.
Anyone else have any questions?
I just want to make sure that we have what we need to do on time, in a timely manner. And it says our deadline is September the 30th. Make sure we have what we need in a timely manner.
All I need is your approval tonight, and tomorrow morning I'll get on that dashboard and click. I already received the sign, so I just need to go in there and sign it. But I need y'all approval tonight.
Any other questions? Not, can I get a motion to give the county manager authority to participate, or Northampton County participate in the national opioid settlement?
I'll make a motion to allow him to participate.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye, Barnax Taylor.
Motion carried. Approved, both participate. Next item is code enforcement, flood damage prevention ordinance.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So we have a new floodplain ordinance that is basically just replacing the one that we had from 2009. This is encompassing the new flood maps that have been designated by FEMA. So this kind of helps gets all our flood insurance and make sure we are eligible for any kind of reimbursements that may come if in the flood issue. This is a kind of time sensitive. It does have to be approved and sent off to the state by September 19th. It's kind of taking some time to get this put together, but there's really no difference other than encompassing the new flood maps approved by FEMA.
And you say it needs to be sent in by the 19th?
That's correct.
Okay, all right, we'll be meeting again on the 15th, so we can do the approval that night. Does anyone have any questions in regard to this?
Jason, is it possible when we come back that you can update us on the highlights that are the differences between the previous document and this document? So that it's just, again, total transparency?
So the document that was from 2009, the state
That's
has
correct.
a record saying that one was submitted, but they do not have a copy of it either. And since we were pen and paper for so long, I've not been able to locate a copy. So that'd be kind of hard for me to do.
That'll be kind of hard? Okay.
They are working on trying to locate it themselves, because there's a new person in that position as well at FEMA, so
Yes, sir.
I am waiting for that response from them.
So maybe we just keep trying, and then, of course, but we would want this, when you talk about flood damage prevention, I think it's imperative that when we look at these documents and making a comparative analysis, that we do a comparative analysis that we can, as I always say, put up on these boards, and then everyone can see it.
Yeah. And I said, I think from what they've showed us, the only difference is the area that it encompasses on the flood map. So we can give you the previous flood map and the new flood map as an overlay, but that's actually the only difference.
That's fair, if we can't look at anything else, but, Mr. Chairman, I would like to see that at our next meeting.
All right, and
Thank you, Jason.
Sir.
for the information of everyone, they sent those directly to me as the chairman. So it's
Sure.
like, who do I give these to? But,
Understood.
Yeah, this was a
yeah,
kind of a shock.
Sure.
they sent us new maps a little while back, and we got them to the proper people so that we could update this.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else? Cool. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Next item is Northampton Cultural Arts Board application.
Good evening. I'm just here to get you to sign off. We have a new applicant to join the Northampton County Cultural Arts Committee, which I am chair of. Amy Jagger has moved here from Florida, and she wants to get more involved with the community, which is great for us. She has a lot of enthusiasm. She's attended several meetings, and everyone on the committee so far really likes her, and I think she'll bring a lot to the table. We just want to go before you and make it official.
You have her application in your packet. Anyone have any questions?
Is she here with you tonight?
She's not tonight. Her husband travels, and so she had to pick him up from the airport. But I can have her at the next meeting if you'd like to meet her.
That would be nice.
Sure.
And at the next meeting is when we'll vote on this, so
Okay.
that would be good. Anyone else have any questions?
All right.
If
Thank you.
not, thank you. Okay, next is the Smith-Gardner Engineering Contract.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
What you have is a updated service agreement renewal between Smith Gardner Engineers and Northampton County, which do our monitoring of our wells, water wells and gas wells at solid waste. This has been budgeted in the budget for this year. Along with that, once upon me requesting this information, I was notified by Smith Gardner that there is a additional ROS from the Department of Environmental Quality. It's a notice of regulatory requirements. And what that is they're requesting additional containment assessment and cleanup monitoring that the Department of Environmental Quality is. So this was unknown to me when I requested this information. So what we are asking for approval for is to approve the annual budget line along with the $35,000, which we will take out of contingency. And this is a state requirement. And the counties that are receiving this are receiving these in pools, and we anticipate that Northampton County will receive our letter of NOAA in this quarter.
Maybe I'm just not understanding, Mr. Van.
Yes, ma'am.
Help me to understand.
Okay.
Number one, Mr. Tashima gave me some insight. Because in looking through all this paperwork, I'm seeing Miss Fannie Green's name on paperwork.
That's correct.
When she was the commissioner, God rest her soul, she passed. She was the former commissioner here. So that threw me. I didn't understand that. Why would a former commissioner's name be on anything? Then I saw Davidson County. Well, that threw me. Why would Davidson County be up here on anything in 2025 that had to do with Northampton County? That threw me. Then I see all these blackouts, and that threw me. So I'm not understanding. Help me.
What you're seeing is a copy that the Department of Environmental Quality is sending all counties with closed landfills. This is a copy that Smith Gardner sent me that every county is receiving.
Thank you. I wonder why Smith and Gardner would send you such an old contract such as this. Why an old contract back in 2015? That's just my question.
Because that's the last one we have on file.
That's the last one.
That's why I requested an upgraded renewal service agreement.
Okay. That one I got a question about. Thank you, but that's why
Yes, ma'am.
why would they send such an old contract?
Because that's the last one they had signed.
Okay. That to me, nothing against you, that's poor business on their side, on their part. That's mighty poor business. That's like me signing an old check somebody had in the bank. I mean, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Van? That's poor business. Number two, tell me again about some money. You said something about it's already allocated out of some kind of fund? Go, tell me that again.
This annual service agreement, the funds are available and they have been budgeted for the annual monitoring.
Okay,
The additional funds that we're gonna have to come up with has not been budgeted.
okay,
I just found out about this on July 23rd.
okay. So we're gonna have to come up with the funds.
Correct.
Yes, sir. Okay, okay. Okay.
For the 35. And that's for the PFAS
Oh.
requirement, that's
That's correct.
a
Yes, sir.
DEQ requirement that has to be added to the,
That's for the,
monitoring.
that's for the notice of regulatory requirements, yes, sir.
That's assuming we had the money. That's all I'm saying about that. That's assuming we can find that money. Mr. Phillips, my question is, how can we have, my question is, you say we have 400,000 in the contingency fund, but we have some other funds in the rears that we've been pulling from too. You know, when we have deficits in the county, we've been pulling from the general fund. We've been robbing Peter to pay Paul. So do we have enough in whatever fund you're talking about? So
Actually, the 400,000 is in the general funds, but there's 159,000 in solid waste contingency fund, so we can take the money out of that if we need it. That 35,000 is not to exceed, it's gonna depend on the assessment, but they're asking for us to allocate $35,000 as a max based on, I guess, what they've been experiencing. So to date, there's 159,000 in the solid waste contingency. When I said the 400, I'm talking about 400 that we normally budget on an annual basis. But as Ms. Edwards has pointed out, 159 is in our solid waste fund. And we're not gonna overspend. We will never overspend
Yes,
as
we
far as
will.
contingencies is concerned.
yes, we will, Mr. Phillips, because our audit cites several budget violations for us overspending. So I beg to differ with that. We have several budget violations where we're overspending. And that is in our audit from December of 2024 and June of 2024, where we've been cited for budget violations for overspending. So I beg to differ. And when you overspend in a budget, that money has to be replaced. And we've been digging out of our general fund to replace these monies that we've overspent with. So at some point, we got to be accountable. That's all I'm saying. Several budget deficit write-ups.
So I'm saying this is mandatory. I mean, it's,
Yes, sir.
yeah. Mhm.
by the state.
Yes, sir.
So what happens if you don't apply?
I
Then
guess,
we're gonna have higher fines and what it's gonna
Yeah, we
cost
can
to,
be cited and
Correct.
fined.
it's gonna
yeah.
cost us more than the 35,000 extra.
correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And
We, since I'm in we build landfills is one of the things we do, and you are required to monitor the closed landfill and do all these yearly reports, and I'm actually familiar with this company. We have done several projects that they were the engineer on in my career. Actually know the person who signed this thing. And they are a highly reputable company. Anybody else have any more questions? I know the money will have to come out of the contingency, but that is why we have contingencies. Okay, I see this is not an action item tonight, is that correct? We would go into the. Okay. Anybody have any more questions for Mr. Van or the Finance Department about the budget?
You know, Mr. Chairman, I don't have any questions, but I do have to echo what my fellow Commissioner Barnax Teller just stated. When we look at these budgets, and I did at the last meeting ask that we bring forth all these audit findings for transparency. And Mr. Van, thank you for presenting the information. It's just that we need consistency and clarity. And when you look at consistency and clarity, I heard contingency fund, but which contingency fund? What are we speaking of, Mr. Phillips, when we talk about the contingency fund? And then I heard, of a second nature, I heard the second phase of your dialogue, but which fund is this going to be taken out of?
Out of the solid waste.
Solid waste. I just wanted to make sure that I heard that correctly.
Yes, sir.
And that we make sure that we echo that when we say, instead of just contingency fund, because there are different contingencies. But to Commissioner Barnax Teller.
That's why I corrected myself, so I apologize for that.
Right. Just want clarity and error-free, that when we're presenting to the public, that we have the total piece of where this money is coming from.
Any other questions? If not, thank you. Okay, the next item is we will take a recess and go into a public hearing for the Housing and Community Development. Yes.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Ben Farmer. I'm with the Upper Coastal Plain Council of Governments in Wilson. So many of you may know our Executive Director, Robert Hyatt, or the Area Agency on Aging. So I'm here tonight to helping the county considering applying for a Community Development Block Grant from the NC Department of Commerce, Rural Economic Development Division. So the acronym is CDBG-NR, Community Development Block Grant, Neighborhood Revitalization. And those are HUD funds that are passed to the state and then distributed to the non-entitlement communities, units of governments like Northampton County who have to compete. And the county is eligible for $950,000. And I brought my phone here just so I could read through a statement to make sure we do this first public hearing correctly. You're not committing to applying tonight. This is just the first public hearing of two. The first public hearing announces your intentions to apply, and then the second, which will be before October 31st, which is the deadline, will be to review the details of the application. But from what I know right now, it is related to housing, affordable housing development at the Odom prison site. So I'll read through the statement. It's just one page. It won't take too long. The purpose of this public hearing is for the Northampton County Board of Commissioners to receive comments, input, and discussion of the needs for this grant assistance and ideas for improvements under this grant program. The Board of Commissioners intends to discuss and consider applying for the 2025-2026 Community Development Block Grant Neighborhood Revitalization Grant Program due October 29th. This is the first of two public hearings that are required to apply. The activities to be included in the application under this Neighborhood Revitalization Program are housing rehabilitation in an amount not to exceed $950,000. Since these funds are federal, there are a number of requirements that need to be compiled with and/or assurances provided for, including involving citizens in the planning, implementation, and assessment of this project through public hearings, establishing a housing selection committee to be involved in the selection of the housing and families to be included, compliance requirements including conflict of interest, benefiting low and moderate income persons, procurement requirements, promoting fair housing, language access plan, local economic benefit, or Section 3, American with Disabilities Acts, lead-based paint hazards, environmental reviews, residential anti-displacement and relocation plan, among others. Housing survey work and selection needs to be completed, and project planning needs to be done not only by town officials and grant consultants, but also citizens. Meetings will soon have to be scheduled and conducted to reach consensus on project activities and housing units. There will be a second public hearing in October that will explain what activities and improvements are included in the final application. So tonight we'll be taking any comments, which we can receive for the next 3 days, on the needs of the neighborhoods or improvements needed or questions about the CDBG NR program. So that is the end of my statement, but I'm happy to answer any questions from the commissioners before you take public comments.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay. My only question is, before we open the public comments, so we don't have any action we take tonight other than
Hosting the public hearing, yes, sir.
host the public?
Yeah, which will be recorded in the minutes, and I'll make sure Mr. Bennett gets the language I just shared.
All right, okay.
My question, how many public hearings are we required to have?
2 as a part of the application. So the first tonight to take these comments that I described, and the second will present the details of the application prior to submission.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right, we'll now open it up for public comments. Would you stand so everybody can hear you?
Yes. My understanding, ma'am, is that the houses that used to be for the staff, as you enter the prison site, they're considering turning those into affordable housing units, which will benefit low to moderate income families only. That's one of the requirements of the funds. It's only low to moderate income families. I don't know off the top of my head. Maybe 11.
I don't know if you've ever been down there. They're one-story brick homes. I used to date a girl that lived in one of them.
The grant dollar amount we're eligible for is $950,000. So at this point, we don't know for sure that we need all that, but there is no match required. So part of the application will be considering the budget and how much it is. So that's a great question, and at the second public hearing, we'll have that for you. It depends on the county, and it's set by the U.S. Housing and Urban Development. It also depends on the household size.
So you will have that information at the next hearing?
Yes, sir. We'll make sure we have that for you.
Okay.
It'll be part of the application.
Yes. Okay. No. Any other questions or comments? That's yet to be determined.
It's starting to be an asshole.
Yes.
For the gentleman reading this thing, do you know what fiscal year money this is coming out from housing and urban development for the federal government? Because you say the application has to be in by the 31st of October, which is technically FY '26 funds, not '25. '25, we are in a CRA. '26, we're probably going to be in a CRA. So what's the ramifications or even likelihood that you may even get $950,000? What have they said?
That's a great question, and I do correct myself, it was October 29th was the deadline. But I'm not sure off the top of my head which fiscal year federal funds they are. I can find that out for you.
Well, 'cause
But
I think that makes a difference on obligation, because if it's for this year, which probably will not be because your grant's in by October 29th, that's gonna be next year. So the grant will die next year for obligation. But I'm just kind of curious to see whether they even gonna think that they're even gonna get any money next year at the rate the federal government's going to cut.
yeah, and so it's just to clarify, so this is not a direct federal grant, it's from the state, but they are federal funds.
Yeah.
So
because-
you're
because
asking good
the
questions.
States have passed.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Right, right.
So it's coming from the federal government to the state to us. So, yeah, the state's the middleman, but it still goes back to who do we get?
Yeah.
The American taxpayers through the federal government. That's all my question was, let's not get too far ahead if we don't really know if the money is coming.
We won't do anything until we have the money committed.
And I'll just add that, so if you get the award, you still have to release the funds, which is when all those compliance documents come in. That's the environmental review. So you could get the award, and it might be another, hopefully not a year, but it could be a year before you can actually spend the funds. It could be 2 years. Yeah. But like they said, they're not going to be released until everything's correct.
That determines, I guess, if, well, go ahead. I don't know if we plan to sell these or rent these. That's to be determined yet.
Yeah, so probably the homeowner, if it's sold, but if it's rented, that's a different. Well, that's a good, I think by the second public hearing, we'll have a lot more information about that. That's a great question. But I can promise you that the one thing that HUD and CDBG are very careful about is making sure there's citizen involvement in those. So that's why the Housing Selection Committee, I believe, would be involved, but I can't say for sure.
Any more public comments? Any more comments from the commissioners?
No, sir.
All right, if not, then we will close the public hearing and reconvene our regular meeting. The next item is Stocks Engineering.
Just to piggyback on Ben, this is a great grant application. It takes us to the next step from the grant. You guys saw the press release from the home consortium that awarded us $65,000 for the rehabilitation of one of those homes for a veteran or an individual that is underserved. So great news here on that. I have two quick items. The first is the approval of the design and engineering contract for Stocks Engineering. This is a small oversight at one of our prior board meetings and was not formally approved. Just to give you a quick synopsis, the total contract is $139,000, I think, give or take, to be awarded to Stocks Engineering, who is our designated engineer for the commerce part. This will be for the design and engineering of a force main sewer line to promote and attract industrial development at the commerce part. The entire contract will be paid for using Golden Leaf funds and will not require a match from the county.
So this is the engineering for the sewer line.
Yes.
Force main that we got the grant for.
Correct, off of Lebanon Church Road. This is
Right.
a part of the site infrastructure grant, the $1.5 million that was awarded to us in May.
Right.
And we still have the outstanding due diligence grant award from Golden Leaf. We should be wrapping that up the end of this month. There are two outstanding items left. One would be the historical archaeological assessment to make sure that there aren't any artifacts or historical graveyards or whatever it may be on the property, and the other is the small correction of county title and lien issues on the property. And once we close out that due diligence grant, we can move towards the site infrastructure grant and development.
So I have a question about 65,000. I thought it was a match by the county
No, it is not required, it is requested,
requested, but not required.
but not required.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
I will need an approval or decision on the infrastructure contract for Stocks Engineering, since this was from the prior board meeting.
Right, okay. Can I get a motion for
Yeah,
approval?
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the Stocks Engineering as presented by our economic developer, Mr. Bennett.
Second.
Any discussion? Not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay, motion is carried.
Second item to present to you, you have in your packages a brochure as well as a contract from Retail Strategies Group. This is a group that works really closely with North Carolina EDP&C and other municipalities in the state as well as across the nation. They have, we have approached them and have done our due diligence with our counterparts to complete a commercial and retail survey for the county. This kind of falls in line with our strategic plan as we have recently completed the industrial survey, and so now we're moving to the next step, which would be commercial and retail. We all know that Northampton County is lacking in the commercial and retail space, and we have heard the needs and the opinions of our citizens and acknowledge those, and so we are working with this firm to complete a 12-month analysis of our current footprint, assess our strengths and weaknesses, see where we are, what we can improve on, and how we can attract commercial and retail development in the county. Cost of the study is $25,000, and we will be paid for using 2025 budgeted funds from the Economic Development Department.
So where is this firm, or is this the only firm we contacted?
No, we contacted two others. This is one of the most highly recommended ones from my counterparts at the state, given their large, I don't want to say footprint, but large footprint,
And where are they from?
Alabama.
Mr. Bennett, say that again now. Wait a minute. What about $25,000 there?
Yes, the cost of the study is $25,000 and will be paid for using 2025 budgeted funds. This fiscal year's budgeted funds. So we're not asking for an additional budget amendment. So every year in my department's budget, we allocate money for studies such as these. Last year, we completed our industrial survey. This year, we allocated money for commercial and retail, and we still have additional funds available, but it will come out of that particular budget line item, that is.
So how much do we have in this budget?
Don't know right off the top of my head, but I believe this may use up about half of my budget. For the assessment, not my department budget, let me clarify that, for this particular line item.
I think I would like to see you do what you need to do, but I would get with Miss Edwards and sit down with her and really go over your line item and look at what you really have, not what you think you have, but what you really have.
So before we presented this, we actually, in my department, pulled our budget report for the month to make sure that we had the available funds in that
Okay,
budget.
okay.
So we've done that.
Praise God.
Does this need action tonight?
No.
Okay.
As long as
Mr.
we don't
Bennett,
miss
now-
it at the next meeting.
Right, yeah.
This company comes as a, in my packet, I remember Dyersburg, Tennessee was a success story with this firm, correct?
Correct.
Where-
There are some other success stories as well.
Yes.
When they were doing the consultation, and other companies can do the same thing, it was pretty neat to see. They use an example of the Dollar Tree and
Right.
Seaboard. And they were able to pull data using your cell phones to say, who's spending money at this particular location? Where are you coming from? How much are you spending? And what are you buying?
Right.
So our goal here is to find those areas, and then they work with us to attract those companies to whatever areas that are best fit for those. For instance, one of the things that I really press them on is the need for a pharmacy in the county. And how can we find a location here in Northampton that we could attract some pharmacists so our citizens can be able to, go and purchase their medication and not have to travel to the neighboring county.
And Maysville, North Carolina was one of the references, if I recall, in my package, as it relates to this firm working with a company, a township in North Carolina, correct?
And there are some others in North Carolina as well. I can get a list, but they share some other ones that are not in the brochure
Right.
that they work with.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett.
Anyone else have any questions? I know we often have citizens question when we do things, have there been studies done about it? So
Yes, sir.
we're trying to do that.
And the good thing too about this company in particular is more than just a study. After the study is completed, there's still the final phase on working with us to attract the company. How do we actually execute on it?
Right.
So will that be an extra expense?
No, that is all within this contract.
That's all in the 25,000?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
If not, thank you.
Mr. Bennett, when will they start?
Once we get an executed contract. Yeah.
Right, next is Tax Department.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm before you with several items today. I'm going to start with, I have to obtain the board's approval for 7 appeals in the amount of $1,838.10. The second item I bring before you is for the board's approval for motor vehicle refunds in the amount of $1,455.73. In your packages, you will also find 10 resolutions authorizing upset bid procedures for sale of property. None of these are action items for tonight.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Mason?
Have done, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, anyone else? Any questions? If not, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next is Finance Department.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Corey should have bringing my amendment up so everyone can see it. first item, this is budget amendment number 1 for fiscal year 25-26. The first item I have is for JCPC administration. The funding plan for fiscal year 25-26 was completed and signed. The original amount that we budgeted in the current fiscal year is $92,213. We actually received $111,213, so we are doing a budget amendment to increase the budget by the difference of $19,000. On the expense side, you can see the 3 programs that we are increasing: Children Matters, Opportunity Youth, and Second Chance Counts. The next item I have is for the Health Department. We received additional funding from the state for local technical assistance and training in the amount of $1,694. And the next item I have is for recreation. Every year, the Recreation Department receives donations for their booster club and for their backpack drive. We are doing a budget amendment to move those funds forward, what was received in last year but not spent, because those are restricted for a specific purpose. We are moving those into the current year's budget so that they can spend those again when it comes time for the backpack drive and for the booster club fund. The total amount for that is $9,268. $1,456 of that is booster club, and $7,812 is the backpack drive. The last item I have is for E911. We have a separate fund, Fund 241, where we receive funds from our E911 board from the state. The original amount budgeted for this was $122,144. We received the final funding plan from the E911 board totaling $144,184. So we are increasing the budget by $22,040.
Okay, anyone have any questions about this?
Does it have an explanation piece with it, like at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Has he gone down far enough?
It's
Okay.
in your pack.
Okay, I didn't see that.
And I'm also not asking for approval tonight for this. It can be approved at the next meeting.
Anyone else have any questions?
This is not a cost to the county because the revenues are the same as the expenses.
That's correct. And this is all grant funding except for recreation, and that was outside donations from citizens or other organizations for those specific purposes.
Okay, thank you.
No other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Vote on that next time. All right, the next item is,
Mr. Chairman, no questions, but at the last meeting, I requested that we go over the audit findings. And are we going to get an update on that this evening?
I'm preparing a presentation for you all for the next meeting.
okay.
So it has not been enough time between the last meeting and this one to get that update?
You want a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, is that correct?
Ms. Edwards, I requested, and Mr. Phillips, I requested an update of all the audit findings as we discussed in the last meeting. It has been a holiday, and now this is Wednesday, after our normal meeting day, which was supposed to be the first Monday. So that answer is yes.
Remember, that was a special call meeting that was
I concur.
time in between the normal meeting.
Mr. Chairman, we have a county manager that works every day, and requesting information for an upcoming meeting is something that I expect to see. Now, a part of daily operation is getting requests from the board in a timely manner, and if my request is unreasonable, then I will definitely yield. But I do not feel my request is unreasonable when that was asked for at the last special call meeting, which occurred in August.
I believe that was the 25th.
That is correct, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
And if I look at my calendar correctly,
that was a week ago Monday, but Monday was a holiday, so.
so 6 working days is what I calculate, Mr. Chairman. And I do not think that was an unreasonable request. Because if I'm not mistaken, the audit findings have been addressed, which is what we've been told. So how's it difficult that we don't have that presented this evening?
Could you get that together sometime next week and send it to us before we actually have the formal presentation at the 15th meeting, where we could review it? Okay, all right. You have a date you'd like to have it?
Today?
Well, considering that's not happening, a backup date.
So, Mr. Chairman, my confidence level in that being done is to 0. Because it was requested at the last meeting, and I did meet with Mr. Phillips and Mrs. Edwards, and we had an in-depth conversation, and I greatly appreciate that. But my confidence level is 0 that it will be done at our next meeting. I'm not trying to be difficult. But I believe as a board, when something is requested, it should be given, or something should be given to us saying that I do not have it completed. So the expectation is that it is not presented when we meet.
When do you think you could have that? Okay, all right.
Well, Mr. Chairman, we could have prevented that by being worked on for the last 6 days. So, Ms. Edwards, I am not requesting that you do that and set aside being busy for a day when this is something that was requested at the last meeting. I do want to make that clear. And to Mr. Phillips, I just don't, maybe I'm just not comprehending. So requests are just overlooked. Is that what I'm beginning to feel? If that's your reply, yes, sir. I'm not asking, I'm asking our county manager, Mr. Phillips, not Ms. Edwards. Ms. Edwards works for the county manager, correct? All things related to the county falls under the county manager, correct? So, Ms. Edwards, I'm not asking you specifically. I'm asking our county manager. So my request was, when we met, Mr. Phillips, that we have an update of the audit findings, and that has not been done this evening. And so what I'm asking you, when requests are made in a timely manner, when can we expect the answer so that Ms. Edwards is not spending a day getting something done all day of a request that was made last week?
Maybe in the future, we should put a date on when we want it to have it by, and then this won't happen again.
Well, respectfully speaking, Mr. Chairman, that's why we meet on the 1st and 3rd, correct?
Yes.
I would not belabor, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, the next thing is county manager and board comments. Yes.
What did you say?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. All right. County manager?
I don't have a whole lot for tonight. Additional, I just wanted to update you all on the Halifax, Northampton County Reentry Council. All of the reentry councils in North Carolina was not funded at September 30th by the state. So that's on hold as far as the reentry council is concerned. The governor did talk to Dr. Perry and asked him to keep the council together and stand by. They're in support of that program, and I believe there's going to be 3 of those programs that will be funded, and they're indicating that we will be one of them. So we're in a wait situation, but it was good to get notification from the governor's office that they're thinking about us, and we're being considered to be funded. So as soon as I have more information on that, I will update you all. I want to thank all the citizens for coming out, and y'all be safe going home.
All right. We'll start, am I right?
It's a new month. It's a new month.
Okay, we'll start next week. We'll start next week. Okay, that's for all next day.
Citizens, good afternoon. I'm not at a loss for words for anything, but I really have got to pray tonight. because I feel like our county is not where it needs to be tonight. And I just got to really, really pray tonight. And I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight. But at this time, citizens, and at this time, board, I'd like to make a motion for removal of our county manager at this time.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Well, we've had a motion, so we will have to vote on it. It's been seconded. All in favor for removal of the county manager signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, Barnax Taylor.
No.
No?
I'm just gonna share that I did not come prepared, for that decision on tonight. And I thought that would be, if there was a matter that was gonna be taken or action to be taken, I would have thought we would have had more conversation or closed session conversation. So I'm just like totally just blindsided right now in shock because I did not know we were going to be taking such an action on tonight. And then I go back to my comments at the last board meeting with just doing things in decency and in order. And we have certainly not had the type of closed session conversations that I would think would be appropriate to come out in front of the public to make a decision of this sort. I could see if there was a closed session and then we came out to make a decision, but that's just my my comment on that.
Okay. You do have to vote one way or the
I
other.
understand that, Chair Martin. I understand that. I don't need you to remind me that I need to vote. I need time to process, and that's what I'm doing right now. Because sometimes I feel like if leadership at the commissioners' table took a firmer stance, then things wouldn't go away. We would have the conversations that we need to have. And that's not happening. So I don't need to be reminded that I need to vote. What I'm sharing is what my thoughts are, what my feelings are, because I was not prepared to vote on this right now. And I think it's just poor practice that
I was not either.
that you as a chair don't have a pulse on your board to know that this was gonna come up tonight. That's just my whole thing. I mean, my thing is citizens. I just believe in doing things in decency and order. I believe in making a decision, but I don't make decisions in haste. And so that's just my thoughts on that. I like to look at things from all angles. And so I understand that I have to vote, but I'm sharing the reason why I'm saying no right now, because we have not had conversation.
Okay. So your vote is no at this time?
Yes,
Okay.
at this time.
Okay, so that motion is defeated. Okay. Do you have any comments?
No comments today, Mr. Chairman.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. It's always good to see a crowd, and, you know, we all have our opinions and we all have our feelings about the county, and just thank you for sharing them with us, and we're going to do the best we can. Thank you for coming out. Be safe.
Okay, do you have any?
Just want to thank all the citizens for coming out on tonight. I want to thank the staff as well. And again, just wanted to, like I said, just wanting to make decisions that are sound, that are well thought out, because my faith is my moral compass, and I'm a firm believer that whatever you sow, you shall reap. And so my whole thing is when I'm taking any action, I want to take that with a sound mind, based on facts, based on documentation, and then move forward. I see some people's expressions or whatever in the audits, and that's your opinion, that's your prerogative. But I have to be able to rest with myself and to sleep at night, and I'm always going to make a decision with integrity and fairness, because I want somebody to do me the same way. So that's just my thoughts on it. So again, thank you to the citizens, thank you to the staff, I appreciate you.
All right, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I hope you have safe travels home. We need to go into closed session.
Thank you
Mr.
for
Chairman, I move we
coming.
go into closed session pursuant to General Statute 143.318.11A4 EDC report and General Statute 143.318.11A6 personnel.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carried, we'll go to closed session.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks.
We'll see about it.